Hello, everybody. Elijah here, and this is Rainy Day Movie Reviews. This is our fifth podcast, so let's get started with The Muppets. The plot of this movie is fairly simple. You have a grown man named Gary and his best friend Walter. The problem here is Walter is a puppet, as in a Muppet kind of puppet. Walter has felt left out his whole life, and so that's why he loved the Muppets, because watching their show helped him feel normal. We later discover that Gary has a girlfriend, and her name is Mary. Gary and Mary are going on vacation over spring break to celebrate their anniversary. Gary has decided to bring Walter with him, so Walter isn't lonely while Gary is gone. They go on a tour to the Muppet studio, but not only is it shut down, but they discover the whole place is going to be torn down because there's oil underneath it. This is where we are introduced into the antagonists. So the three of them work together to help get the Muppets back together so they can raise enough money and save their studio. During this process, Gary forgets about his anniversary and Mary gets mad at him. Gary has to leave Walter on his own and go find Mary before it's too late and she dumps him. Now Walter has to work on his big part in the Muppets show on his own, and he doesn't know what to do. He's always had Gary with him, and now Gary isn't there. It's a big moment for Walter. But of course, in these type of movies, you have to have a happy ending. And that's what we got. The villain lost, the Muppets won. Walter put on a fantastic performance, and the Muppets were saved. Mary and Gary made up, and they ended the movie better than they started. Truly, a happy ending. I really enjoyed watching this movie. There are a few reasons why I enjoyed watching this movie, but there are mainly two that are worth noting. For one, there was the nostalgia aspect. When I first watched this movie, it was on live TV. When I watched it this time, I watched it on Netflix. I don't even think it shows on live TV anymore. But I used to watch this movie when I was way younger, like 8 years old. So it's a relatively old movie, but it's a really good one, and I liked knowing what was going to happen, but having that feeling like I was a little kid again. That was a nice feeling to have. And another reason why I really liked this movie was the soundtrack. Although there weren't that many songs, the ones that were there were very good, and I enjoyed singing along to them. There are some that I've even considered adding to my Spotify playlist. Now, I do have to say, on the note of nostalgia, if this movie does not have some childhood connection to you and you are watching this for the first time and you are, I'd have to say, 14 or above, you may not find the comedy that great. So I would have to say that may be the worst part about this movie, is it is still designed for kids. And as long as you remember that it is designed for little kids, then you will still enjoy this movie a great deal. And as for my favorite character of this movie, I'm gonna have to say Kermit. Kermit the Frog. And he does have some issues where he seems like a bit of a jerk at times, and he doesn't seem like the fun-loving Kermit that he is seen as being. But that's what makes it even better, because at the end, he transforms back into that fun-loving Kermit that we all know and love. And watching that transformation is just a very cool thing to see. And then the final number that they all sing together, the Rainbow Connection, it's very good, and you get to see Kermit at his best. And I think that's our show. I think I've covered... Oh no! I have to rate it. How could I have forgotten to rate it? I'm gonna have to give this movie a 4 out of 5 muffins. Not a 5 out of 5, just because, it's not as great the older you get, just because the comedy doesn't hit as well. I gotta call it how I see it, and I call it a 4 out of 5 muffins. And now, I think that's our show. I thank you all, for those of you who stayed and listened to this video, and maybe you'll go and check out the Muppets, and if you've already seen it, maybe you agree or disagree with what I've said. If you want to, check out the past podcasts that I've done, and I'll see you next time. Until then, this has been Rainy Day Movie Reviews.